It is July 20th, 2021. I'm Andy, and this is the Minorcan Mullet Report from the Golden Ray Wreck Site in the St. Simons Sound. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The big thing we saw today, we got a lot of video coming up here of the claw back in action. The claw was fishing today, and we got some good video, some good stills of the activity of the famous red claw down in the St. Simons waters of the Sound. It's going to be a long video tonight. I'm sorry. There's just so much material to cover. One thing we want to show you guys, we've told you about the proximity to the beach of the wreck, and it was a busy day out on the beach, and this is what the beach looks like from the wreck site. And you can see it was busy. Well, out at the site, we know that the VB 10,000 was moved over the wreck. Well, today they were in the process of attaching the chain system to the blocks. Early on they started with a lower grade chain. We've done earlier videos on that, but as part of that process, they now are using a higher grade chain, and they do that right from the start, because they had so many chain failures early on in the operation. And we think that's what was going on today. And what they do, they'll attach that new chain directly to the chain that has been around the Golden Ray. These things were pulled underneath the Golden Ray using horizontal boring equipment mounted on a jack boat. And this stuff was done months and months ago, months before the operation, before the VB even arrived. But here in this photo, we can see the Wildcat block that we've seen before. We can see the chain coming up, and then it's turning and going right back down the deck. So we think what's going on there is they're collecting that chain, and they're pulling the new chain back into position. And once all that gets into place, we'll probably see them remove the Wildcat block and make that attachment back to that single block and be ready to go. It's a big operation, of course, doing this, and you can see the size of that chain when we zoom in here. Just massive chain that makes up the business end of that cutting system between those two blocks. But getting around the site, we can see that they have the chain strung up. It's up on the offshore block, and then coming down, going underneath the ship, through that Wildcat block, and back to the deck of the VB 10,000. And this process will, as they'll pull this thing into place and then adjust the length, make those attachments to the blocks, and hopefully we'll see some cutting. I'm not sure if we'll see, last time they started cutting on section 3, they didn't attach those support straps from the 4 main lifting blocks at the center there of the VB. They come down to the spreader bar. We didn't see those get attached until later on in the operation. Don't know if we're going to see that again. I would think that we probably would. Again, they're learning as they go with this system. This VB 10,000 has never been used to cut a ship up like this, and they're kind of learning as they go with this process, and they're getting a little better at it. They're figuring some things out, and we're seeing a little bit better progress going on. Now, on the east apex of the environmental barrier system, we saw a crane out, and looked like they had part of the environmental barrier up. It looks like some maintenance is going on there. This activity was taking place. It's just so much stuff going on at one time today out at the site, and that's why we're going to be here for a little while tonight, dissecting what we saw today and just letting you guys see firsthand, hopefully with some decent photography, what's going on out at the site. That's what we try to do day in and day out. And here we can see that operation taking place. And while we were watching this out of the corner of our eye, we saw some movement going on the other crane. Looked over there, and the claw was back in action, doing a little fishing. And you know the thing about fishing, sometimes you catch them, and sometimes you don't. So you guys are going to have to watch the video play out, and you'll get to see what I mean about that. But the claw system hooked to this deck barge goes down in the water. Now they've mapped out where these cars are. They will present a map, if you will, of where these vehicles are based on their sonar work. They have a boat, and we'll see it later too. It takes an underwater picture, if you will, and lays everything out. And then the crane operator knows where these targets are. And he has a system in the crane that he's able to get the claw down, and because you can't see in this water, you know, this is very limited visibility here because of the silt in the water. But he'll get down there and he'll locate these vehicles and get that grapple claw over them and pull them up to the top side and place them over on this barge. And we got a good bit of this video so you can watch this activity take place as it happened today. You'll see the crane swing back, the claw go down, and then something maybe comes up. Now here we go. Again, about the fishing part of this. Sometimes you catch them, and sometimes, you know, they just get away. But we see this piece of debris, this car coming up. He's got it. Oh, he's got a very little corner of it, and hold it. Oh, back to the depths it goes. You see right here in this deal, he just had a little corner of that, and that part broke free, and this piece got away from them. So they'll be back trying to fish this piece out, get it pulled back up to the barge. It's going to be a little process, and we're not sure exactly how many cars fell out of Section 3 when the separation occurred, but those that are down there are currently coming out. This process may take a day or so. We may actually see some of this activity again tomorrow, but just interesting to watch and kind of fun to see these pieces come out. Really glad to see them come out. We don't anything that's down in the water like this, the opportunity presents itself for contaminants to leak out of this stuff. So as quick as they can get them back on the deck, that is good news. The Robert T was out today, and we got a little video of this tug kind of moving around the site. Came back over to the Weeks 533 barge and kind of anchored up there behind the Stephanie Dan. And we got some shots of this. You know, we love watching the tugboats out on the site, working out on the site. And we still got the poll up now underneath the community tab of the page where we're asking you guys, you know, if you're given the opportunity to go and tour one of these tugs, you know, which one would it be? So be sure to check that out and let us know what you're thinking on the your selection, your choice for a tour of a tug. Now, just some photography today from the sites we saw. Some of the crews out on the debris boats. We got some of these guys. We had the opportunity to grab some pretty good shots today, and so we just kind of wanted to share with you guys the sights, you know, what we see out around the Golden Ray. The dive boat, the Little Duke, was back on this time over on the towards the west apex of the environmental barrier. Looked like they were diving, had some sort of project going on. They were working on, and then, you know, one vessel that we see out there almost every time we're out there, unless they're involved in a crew change or fueling up, is the safety boat, and these guys are watching the site as these vessels come in and out of the work site. They're checking in, checking out. These guys keep an eye on the entire site, let them know if there's any ship traffic that's coming in or out, so everybody has a good mindset of what's going on around them. And they're out there watching the site, and just have the opportunity every now and then to stop by and say hey and let them know that they're doing a great job. Here we see the Emma T, and this is one of the sonar boats, and this boat would have been out taking a look at that debris that came off at Section 3 and doing that map work. Well, as you guys know, if you've been following the series past couple episodes, the navigational beacons that make up the rear channel marker system for the main channel coming in, they're being dismantled and they're being replaced. And today those crews are back out. This time, of course, we see the old tower back on the barge, and today they were working on the concrete pilings that this system sat on. They've got one piece of it, or I should say two pieces of it already up. They've got another one here strapped up, and they were working on getting those pieces up. Hey, Andy here again from the Minorcan Mullet. Thanks for joining us here for the report. You know, we're continuing to watch Section 3 that was brought into the Port of Brunswick. This last section that was separated out at the wreck site. We've seen some drone footage of the cars, the burnt cars that are in there. And, you know, we were kind of originally told that those vehicles from those center sections were going to be processed there in Brunswick. And we know that the equipment there is in place in Brunswick, and we really haven't seen any vehicles taken off of the ship yet in any kind of system. So we're kind of still waiting to see what happens there, if these vehicles are in fact going to start to be processed there, and as a scrapping part of the operation, and what they do as far as taking them off and what they do to them. They've got equipment there to do that, and we're just kind of in a wait and see mode to kind of find out what is it. You know, it's been a continuous fluid operation, and things are subject to change. So we'll keep a lookout and let you know. Hey, we're going to ask, if you haven't done it yet, to click on that subscribe button, give us some thumbs up, send us some comments. You know, the really neat thing about the channel is that it opens up a lot of discussion about this salvage and salvage of other vessels as well. So get us some comments, and hey, most of all, we want you guys to stay safe out there.